Ladies and gentlemen, breaking news. I'm not going to lie to you. I was at church and then I was out to breakfast. And I just, for some reason, I felt like I had to check the internet. I had to check my Twitter to see if there was any breaking news across the NFL. And lo and behold, Von Miller has officially been released by the Buffalo Bills. Now, as many of us know, we've had conversations for the past couple of weeks, and we were looking at that dead cap number when which was associated with Von Miller in the first place. And we were like, you know what? Like, I don't see Brandon Beane wanting to take on that much dead cap. Maybe we just approach him for a pay cut. But let me tell you, folks, it sounds like that it really wasn't much of an issue for the Buffalo Bills in the first place. They just wanted those cap savings almost immediately. This Buffalo Bills team is adding close to about $8 to $9 million in potential spending right damn now. However, I'm sure all of us are really curious to see what does our current cap number look like, because tomorrow is the day, folks. Tomorrow is the day where we start understanding what players potentially could be coming to the Buffalo Bills. And we are still over the cap slightly, all right? We are still minus 864,238. Much better than what we were just a couple of days ago, where it was closer to about $8 to $9 million. Releasing Von Miller, this gets us about as close as we have been all off season. And I believe that we are not done today. I have a feeling that we are going to hear some words of some new restructures and perhaps even one more extension. My guess is Josh Allen, but that's a conversation for a different time. However, right now, with this move on Von Miller, minus $864,000, we're currently over the cap. Hopefully, we can make another move here shortly. But the news is official indeed. The Bills are releasing Von Miller. All right. And he would have been due $17.5 million in 2025. I thought that they were going to approach him about taking a pay cut, but it sounds like Brandon Beane was all about just getting him off of the roster immediately. Now, reports so far are saying that the Bills are open to a return of Von Miller, meaning that, yes, we ultimately ended up cutting him, but maybe, just maybe, the Buffalo Bills end up bringing him back. Definitely not for $17.5 million, but more so for a veteran minimum with a bunch of incentives that would be a hell of a lot worse off with our overall cap space. But needless to say, this man is off of the roster. We are inching closer and closer to cap compliance at this point. And look at that. What an experiment. I do want to say that I don't hate the move. I don't hate Brandon Beane for trading for Von Miller a couple of years back. I really, really don't. Like, he was a dog for the first 7 to 8 games, but then he got hurt and he was never the same. Last year was a hell of a lot better than 2023. I can tell you that. But it was just bad luck. It wouldn't have been a bad contract in my eyes if he did not tear his ACL or if he did not have that serious knee injury. But sometimes that's just how the cookie crumbles. But what does this mean for the Buffalo Bills, folks? Does this mean that we are paving the way, that we are very interested in making a move right now on the Trey Hendricksons of the world? I'm seeing a couple of people in the chat who have been saying that they want Josh Sweat out of the Philadelphia Eagles, or former Philadelphia Eagle, prior to, of course, free agency beginning with. But I'll tell you what, where it stands, man, we are definitely missing an edge rusher now. So what exactly is Brandon Beane thinking of doing? Folks, thank you so much for tuning in. If you are new here, my name is Dan Mitchell. I am an NFL content creator. I'm a Buffalo Bills content creator. I'm the biggest one on the internet with all platforms combined. Do me a favor, smash that like button. It's the easiest way to show love. Let's go on ahead and get this like button over 150 to 200 with replays included. And if you are watching the replay of this episode, I highly recommend when you subscribe, you turn on bell notifications so you never miss out on a live update. Anytime there is breaking Buffalo Bills news or anytime there is breaking NFL news, I am here as fast as I humanly can be so we can unpack it together with my lovely audience. Now, let's go over to the chat. Let's go on ahead and smash that like button. 207 of you are currently watching on YouTube. 115 of you are on X. Let's talk a little. Better, but older and more expensive. I believe that there's a little bit of a conversation here. Let's go get the big name pass rusher now, James Fedella. I'll tell you what, man. Yes, it saved us money for releasing Von Miller, but the $15 million dead cap hit should be giving us a sign that that's exactly what we might be doing, right? So is it a Trey Hendrickson? And the reason why I'm not really discussing Myles Garrett right now, because I think it would be financially irresponsible for the Cleveland Browns to walk away from Myles Garrett right now, because they lose $16 million. They don't add $16 million to their cap space for releasing Myles Garrett or trading him before June 1st. They lose $16 million. And they just had to restructure Deshaun Watson's contract to get cap compliant. If they trade Myles Garrett, they are over the cap once again. So I don't see a Myles Garrett trade occurring until after June 1st. I still think it's going to happen. But I'll tell you what, man, like we really moved on with this guy. And if Myles Garrett was truly the target for the Buffalo Bills, don't you think that maybe Von Miller would have been a post-June 1st cut, right? So that way we can go on ahead and create that additional cap space to bring him in. I think this move right here is almost telling you, what if Brandon Beane is prioritizing Trey Hendrickson? Because Trey Hendrickson is available right now. And Trey Hendrickson, as far as what his cost would be, is closer to around a second-round pick. And guess what? The Buffalo Bills have 2 second-round picks this year. So is this move based off of the timing, based off of the fact that we just ate all of that dead cap for Von Miller, where we could have had much more limited cap implications by waiting until after June 1st? Does this mean that we are laser focused on trying to get a Trey Hendrickson deal in place? It's a fantastic question, and I cannot wait to see what tomorrow brings. And trust me, there is no shortage of NFL news today, folks. I can promise you that. And guys, listen, I do want to remind you that once this show is over with, I am going to be live over on the Roundtable Sports Network for the Dan Mitchell Show. It is my show where I unpack every single NFL breaking news tidbit, and I give you my overall thoughts. I have guests all the time, and we are going to be discussing the Trey Hendrickson situation. We are going to be discussing DK Metcalf, who it sounds like the Seahawks are now lowering their asking price. It's going to be more so of a second-round pick, and DK actually wants to be in a warm weather state. So I am sorry to the few members of Bills Mafia that wanted DK, but it doesn't sound like that we fit his overall wish list. Vaughn was good before he got hurt. I think he is going to retire, to be honest. Walter R., I mean, I wouldn't blame the man if he did. I certainly wouldn't blame the man if he did. I mean, again, we have rumors right now that Buffalo is open to bringing him back if after he tests free agency and no one is interested. I'd be fine with like bringing Vaughn back on a vet minimum deal. Like shit, man, like $1.4 million just for one more year. I would take the Von Miller of today on a vet minimum contract. I certainly would. I sure as hell wouldn't have taken him on $17.5 million. That's for damn sure. But I would not be pissed off if we were to bring him back on a deal pennies on the dollar. And do you think that we will get a big deal done today? Easton Gallo. Damn, Easton. So I don't want to say no, but I'm leaning toward I don't believe that's going to be the case. I think tomorrow is where we start hearing some pretty crazy free agency moves. I feel like tomorrow the Buffalo Bills will make something happen. I'm very excited to see where they head. I don't think it's going to be an edge rusher. I think we'll probably end up adding a CB2. I also think that we might be testing the waters for a safety, perhaps, and maybe even a speedy wide receiver, because as many of us know, Hollywood Brown was just re-signed by the Kansas City Chiefs on a 1-year, $11 million deal. So we're going to have to, sounds like just focus exclusively on the draft, or maybe we go for a Josh Palmer, or maybe we go for a couple of other receivers that could be on the outside and create some sort of separation vertically, if you will. Bobby Hall, what's going on? Hope all is well. James, now I like what the Buffalo Bills are doing. I mean, listen, I think that Von Miller was public enemy number one for many Bills fans for a while. especially during his lackluster performance in 2023. I thought he looked good like last year, like nowhere near to the Vaughn of old, but I think it's a good move, right? Because again, I do want to remind everybody there's still moves that are potentially coming. Okay. We are currently negative $864,000 when it comes in the cap. We are still over the cap slightly, but that Von Miller move has gotten us very, very close. And all I think we're waiting on right now is a Josh Allen contract extension, or maybe a restructure, a Deion Dawkins restructure, a Dawson Knox restructure. I don't think the Buffalo Bills are done. As Dave Rock 69 says, in Brandon Beane, we trust. We expected Vaughn to get cut, and the question was whether they were going to cut him before June 1st or not. We got our answer now. I've been saying we are probably not going to get Garrett. Build the team the way that we can. Jay, incredible take. Did Vaughn win a ring with the Rams? I know he won with the Broncos. He did win a ring with that. Dan, and do you think Miller will retire with the Broncos? I don't know where he'll land, man. Ask again, Easton. Nobody saw it the first 3 times. Roy. Come on, man. Stop bullying Easton. Roy, I'm just kidding. Roy, hope all is well. Ron, don't worry about the defensive end. Go after a defensive tackle. I still think that we've created a hole, and it's not even so much a specific position. I agree we need an interior defensive tackle, and as many of you know, I'm a big Kenneth Grant guy. I'm a massive Derek Harmon guy. But I do think that we need an edge rusher now that Vaughn is gone. He was not the Von Miller, but I think that we need to like replace him as far as a depth chart is concerned. We will see. We indeed will see where we go in this free agency. But for some reason, I'm just having a gut feeling that we are going to have a less than inspiring free agency period. I don't think any sexy moves are going to come across our screens, although that I would love to be wrong. Trey kind of reminds me of Aaron Schobel. Oh, no. I think Bills are getting Hendrickson, Joey Bosa, and Chris Godwin. Easton, damn, man. Listen, we are spending right there if that was the case. I don't think that we're going to go that crazy, man. He had 4 sacks before his suspension. And then after that suspension, man, again, he just ended up coming back down into reality. Maybe Bills get a big deal with someone now that we have cap space. Well, I mean, right now we're still over the cap, right? It's a better position than what we were in yesterday or prior to this Von Miller release. But there's still moves to be made. Several restructures could be done. I think a Josh Allen extension would help out quite a bit. I think that would add about like $13-14 million, whether or not we go the restructure route or whether or not we go like the massive contract extension. A Dawkins restructure, a Dawson Knox restructure, a Matt Milano restructure, several different things that we can do. What wide receiver moves will we make, Hugh Cargo? We're going to bring in a bargain bin guy, man, in free agency if I am a gambling man. Like, for example, I think probably like one of the most likely is Josh Palmer. Like, he's out of LA. He's fast. He's young. But like, he's not going to be the guy on the outside, right? Now I think our priorities have shifted a tad over to the drafts. So whether or not, man, right? Like it all depends on what we do in free agency, because then I think it gives us an idea of where our priorities are going to be, right? I will tell you what, I don't want to trade for DK Metcalf, right? I don't want to go after a defensive tackle in free agency. Like, for the love of God, I would love some youth at that position, especially at One Tech. I would love some youth. I'm getting sick of bringing veterans in for that position. CB2, I would be fine in free agency. I would be fine in the draft as long as it is somebody specific, somebody that is speedy, someone that excels in coverage, man, and zone. So I'm a bit picky, but we will see. I believe if Vaughn plays football, he'll be in Denver or he will retire. Von Miller back to the Denver Broncos. If Vaughn goes back to the Denver Broncos, he's probably going to have a hell of a season because everybody else helps out. The signing at the time made sense, but always hurt. And re-signing Greg was good. Keep getting younger at the edge. Dan, who do you want at wide receiver with Coleman and Khalil via free agency and or the draft? So I'm going to tell you what, Mutt Vials, and I appreciate you coming in and showing a little bit of love. He is a Jets fan. He rocks with me over on my channel every now and again. He's a big supporter of the AFC East Roundtable Sports as well. So wide receiver, man, like nobody's really speaking to me in free agency, but draft is everything. Like number one is Matthew Golden, obviously, but his combine was so sick. I really don't believe that he's going to fall to the Buffalo Bills. So being a bit more like realistic, I like Isaiah Bond as well. He's a wide receiver out of Texas. He's very fast. He could be on the perimeter for us. And then a gentleman by the name of Jalen Royals out of Utah State. I would love to draft that young man and add him to this roster. I'm still holding on to hope that Curtis Samuel can take a next step next year because he did start to look good toward the back half of the season. Him and Josh Allen obviously had some chemistry issues. And if we bring in any sort of free agent, it's going to be like a very underwhelming name. It's going to be like a Joshua Palmer, right? At first, I was intrigued in Tutu Atwell. I was also intrigued by Hollywood Brown, but as we know, both of them ended up getting locked down from their own respective teams prior to that. Greg V, Slayton or Palmer would be nice. Palmer would be a hell of a lot cheaper. Last time I checked, Slayton's contract estimate or market value is close to 18. I'd say probably guarantee about half of that, maybe 40% of that, so it wouldn't be terrible, but we will see. Golden will be first wide receiver off of the board. Yeah, that too. Like same thing with Luther Burden. Like he could be intriguing for us as well. Last year, statistically with Luther Burden, he definitely wasn't as electric as he was in 2023, but his targets really weren't there. His targets completely just so diminished. Listening to Patriots fans hype up Keenan Allen and being so against DK is why I am here. Okay, so we have interesting. So you're telling me that Pats fans are looking for Keenan Allen opposed to DK Metcalf. Let me go ahead and double check and make sure that there wasn't any insane breaking news that came across our board. Okay, hold up. From trade to truce and beyond, Browns and Myles Garrett reached agreement today on a record contract extension that averages $40 million per year. That includes $123.5 million in guaranteed money and now makes him the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history. Sources tell ESPN. Folks, we have some breaking news on the channel. And this is exactly why you subscribe, folks, because we just ultimately end up learning it this way. All right? Here we are. Officially official. I'm going to go on ahead and double check this is the correct Adam Schefter account. It is. Myles Garrett is staying in Cleveland. Holy shit. Holy hell, folks. Damn, it's Trey Hendrickson or nothing, folks. It is Trey Hendrickson or nothing at this point. Who's getting the Trey Hendrickson? Folks, holy hell. Folks, breaking news. Tell your friends. Myles Garrett is staying in Cleveland. I'm doing a TikTok right now because I need to. Everybody's like, no, Dad. 684 of you in here, 375 of you are rocking with me. So any Bills fan that was hoping that this was a move that we're going to get Myles Garrett is over with. It is over with, ladies and gentlemen. Myles Garrett is staying with the Cleveland Browns. Holy hell, man. This guy. All right, anyway, I'm going to make a TikTok real fast. So I'm going to make a TikTok real fast, folks. And y'all can see influencers in the wild here. Smash that like button for me, guys. No reason why we can't be over 250 likes. I'm going to be yapping with you boys for a minute. Let's go. Bang. So, ladies and gentlemen, NFL breaking news. Talk about a damn curveball. The Cleveland Browns and Myles Garrett actually did reach an agreement for him to stay in Cleveland. And we are talking about a deal that averages $40 million per year, $123.5 million in guarantees, and he is the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history. Now, for anybody that's intrigued, this contract also includes a no-trade clause and ties Garrett to the Browns through the 2030 season. How far we have come from Myles Garrett not being able to secure a meeting with the owner to discuss his overall trade request, and from him requesting a trade in the first place. He was saying he wanted to go to a place where he could win. There's no way that he genuinely believes that he could ultimately end up sniffing a Lombardi trophy for the rest of his career, but here he is. It sounds like money was very important to him. I don't blame the guy. That is a damn bag. But Cleveland somehow pulls off a miracle. Sound off in the chat. Let me know your thoughts. Dude. It's all about the Benjamins at this point, folks. Sorry, I just got to go ahead and post this TikTok. NFL breaking news. Myles Garrett staying in Cleveland. Guys, that's some crazy shit right there. Folks, breaking news. Breaking news right here. Who the hell saw this coming? All right, man, listen. Influencers in the wild right there, folks. Hold up. NFL breaking news. Myles Garrett staying a Cleveland Brown. Browns. Myles Garrett. NFL news. I think that's enough. Select all, copy. Bang, bang, dude. Fucking hey, good for Cleveland. Steven's coming on in and saying he can take the money and still lose every year. I mean, look, like, here's the deal. He said that he wanted to be traded and he wanted to be able to move to a team where he had the best opportunity of winning and playing at the biggest stages of his overall career. But really, at the end of the day, man, like, you can't say no to that damn money. Like, you can't say no to that damn money, ladies and gents. His family is set for the rest of his life. Man. Like, that's just some bonkers shit right there. Guys, smash that like button as your way in. There are currently 791 of you in here. Absolutely insane. Welcome to the show. If you are just coming in, 794 of you, 428 of you on YouTube. We have 10 of you on Facebook and 356 of you on X right now. Guys, listen, let's go ahead and pump this like button up. And for all of you that are just tuning in, and maybe you're watching the replay of this episode, do me a favor. When you subscribe to the channel, just turn on bell notifications, because I make all of my live streams very interactive with all of the lovely people in my chat. DK also said he wants to play for a contender, and there's not many in the warm climate. I mean, honestly, I think that he just wants to get out of Seattle. Trey Hendrickson is really their only option at this point, but I'm just not sure about it. I want to wait until draft night, and he's probably gone by then. G, hit the like button, fools. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. Myles sold his soul to a mediocre team. I mean, look, and so do we blame him, right? Like, how many of us work jobs that we fucking hate, but you know what? They pay good and we stay anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is not completely out of the ordinary. Thomas is saying, congratulations to both Myles Garrett and the Cleveland Browns for getting together on this signing. It rips Buffalo Bills fans' hearts out, because that's really all we wanted was Myles Garrett. Like, guys, like, Myles Garrett has got to be the guy, right? He's got to be the guy for us. And what's funny, like, what if the Buffalo Bills made this move of eating all of that dead cap for Von Miller with the intention of, oh yeah, like, we're definitely going to be like using this money to bring in Myles Garrett. And then like seconds later, we see that Myles Garrett is staying in Cleveland. Holy shit. Anyway, since the Titans released Landry, maybe the draft Carter and Browns draft Ward, maybe that would have convinced Garrett to stay, perhaps. And the Browns drafted Cam Ward, so maybe they're thinking that, Sarah. And they were never going to trade him anyway, so he might as well have gotten paid. Why would Myles waste his youth on this team? I mean, look, so maybe winning a championship is not as important to him as we initially anticipated. Damn, $40 million a year, that is absolutely crazy, but understandable why he is staying. I think he probably would have been around that. Reinforce the defense with youth through the draft, in my opinion, especially with the latest news. I mean, look, like I said, like, there is plenty of talent in this draft, and there's still a couple of edge rushers that we could potentially bring in on this team, right? Like, names that will not be anywhere near as exciting as Myles Garrett, maybe Trey Hendrickson, but I don't know. Like, for some reason, I just have a feeling that that's specifically what they wanted to do. Bills equals Browns. That's why the Ravens are laughing. Then why are you 0-2 against us in the playoffs, my friend? Why can't you win? Why can't you beat the Buffalo Bills when it matters? All right, that's a question. We will pick up Derek Harmon. He is my personal favorite. Dion didn't have to restructure his contract. I think he still might need to restructure his contract because even though Von Miller, even though Von Miller did save us quite a bit of money, we are still currently under the cap where it stands. Guys, 468 of you are currently in the chat right now. Sound off and let me know. Hey, you know what? Actually, roll call in the chat right now. Let me know where you were tuning in from. Okay, and what team you're currently representing. I'm very interested to see how far this audience truly extends. Guys, right now, sound off in the chat and let me know your thoughts. Where are you tuning in from? And what team you representing, baby? Come on in. Don't be shy. Introduce yourself in the chat. Let's see where we got. Man, St. Louis is in the chat. Michelle, my guy, is in Pittsburgh. Go Bills. South Florida, go Bills. We got Connecticut Bills. Texas Bills. Texas forever, brother. Retro Ravens have Buffalo, go Bills. Jets, California, let's go. C, Central New York, Rochester, New York, Philly, but a hometown Bills fan. James, I just think Buffalo Bills knew that they couldn't get him, so they were going to go after somebody else, or they got somebody in the draft that they are looking at anyway. Chris is saying, what do you think the front office will do with Damar Hamlin, and do you think he's moving on to another team? So he's a pending free agent? Yes, I do not think that we are going to be sending him anything. Tuning in from Buffalo, representing Texas, Minneapolis, Minnesota. We got Connecticut. We got Buffalo, the 51st state. Go Bills. Wow. Brantford. We have Hawaii in the chat. Durham, North Carolina. PA Bills. We have Charlotte, North Carolina. Philadelphia, South Carolina. What's going on, man? I lived in South Carolina for quite some time. Northwest Connecticut, Bills backer, and Winstead, Connecticut. What's going on? Welcome to the show. I appreciate that. Raymond Joss, Lackawanna, New York, Toronto Bills, Bills country, Virginia, go Bills, Canada, South Carolina, go Bills. Let's see. We have Oswego, New York. We have Mars, Florida, and I am Buffalo. Go Bills, Iowa. We have Iowa Bills Mafia in the chat. Josh, restructure extension is next. Shoe to drop. Retro CNY, I 1,010% agree with you. Tom Week is saying, Bosa, 1-year prove-it deal, Buffalo. As long as we get that guy on like a $6 million a year deal or $8 million for 1 year, and a lot of it is tied with incentives, I'd be okay with it because that guy is quite literally made of glass and not something that I feel like I'd be all about. Staten Island, New York Jets all day, every day. That's what I'm talking about, Vials. Listen, he's doing his thing. Belfast, Ireland, scrap coupon. What's going on? Hope all is well. Shlomo is coming in the chat. Are we going to get a bunch of big signings today, or is that on Wednesday? It's likely going to be tomorrow. Tomorrow is when the legal tampering period begins, folks. And that's where you hear all of the Schefter tweets and the Rappaport tweets. Like that's when it's public knowledge, but it's not necessarily on the books until Wednesday. Had it done. And so the craziest thing is right here, right? So highest paid pass rushers in the NFL right now is Myles Garrett at $40 million, Max Crosby at $35.5, Nick Bosa 34, Josh Hines Allen 28, and Brian Burns is also at $28 million after the fact. He locked in a $40 million per year. This ups the ante for the next highest paid non-quarterback. That's good news for Jamar Chase, Micah Parsons, and others. So who the hell knows what's going to happen there? We have Dwayne. I still like AJ and our draft pick from last year, Javon Solomon. Just keep our defense young, but another veteran presence wouldn't be all that bad. I was really high on Javon Solomon. I hope that he could take the next step. Maybe our coaching staff has that much faith in the guy. DeMar is going to play for the Steelers. I see him going home. Sports Prod. Hey, Dan, how's there a possibility that we get any players from free agency if we are still under the cap? So here's the deal, right? Like, we don't need to be over the cap or, cap compliant until March 12th, right? We can start signing players on the legal tampering period, but in order for us to be cap compliant, has to be March 12th is when that is all said and done. So even if we don't hear any other moves today, like we don't hear about a restructure for Dawkins, for Milano, for Dawson Knox, or an extension for Josh Allen, if you will. We can still go out there and sign these players during the legal tampering period, but we better damn make sure that we have all the restructures in place prior to the 12th on Wednesday. That's how it plays out. So I still think that we'll be making moves tomorrow. I hope that all of us can go to bed like feeling a little bit better, right? Where we're just like, oh shit, man, you know? Interesting. Greer, South Carolina, go Bills. That's what I'm talking about. Christian Kirk went to the Texans. He certainly did. So does this mean that he won't be traded to where he wants to go? If so, and what's next? Yeah, he's locked in. He just agreed on one of the biggest like contracts a non-quarterback has ever agreed. He's locked in on the Browns until 2030. Hey, Dan, how is there a possibility? Okay, I already answered that one. Hey, chat. And do me a favor and just block this guy. It's mods. Say, for example, you're watching, just go on ahead and block him. I am no longer allowing trolls to ruin my streams. And block this kid too. And so I'm no longer babysitting. I'm fine with other fan bases coming in here and joking around, but like when like there's like 15-year-old kids just coming in here and saying the same dumb shit like over and over again, it's done. So mods, please do me a favor and block both of those kids. Block Aaron Butler and block Texas Boy, please, because they should be in school anyway. Dwayne Brown, thank you so much for the super chat, man. I sincerely appreciate that. Tom Weish is coming on in. Mutt Vials is coming in saying, and do you believe Burrow would get traded if he requested one? My buddy actually ended up coming in. His name is Jesse. He's a 49ers YouTuber. He actually thinks that Burrow is going to request a trade next offseason, which makes it interesting. Dan, what the hell is Myles doing? Does he not want to win? Well, apparently not, my friend. I love my Washington, but be respectful. Dude, listen, man, like, I'm fine with people coming in and like saying jokes and stuff like that. But like when you just repeat the same thing over and over again and like all you're doing is just trying to rile up the chat. And because you didn't get enough attention when you were a child, then I'm sorry. But like it's just not going to be tolerated. It's annoying and I'm not going to deal with it. Like I'm fine with people coming in and being smart. So with their trash talking, but like, I mean, come on, dude. Like, come on, bro. Like say that I say something that pisses off a fan base, I'm fine with it, right? Like say, for example, I say that the Cincinnati Bengals are absolutely stupid because they're not focusing on their defense, right? Then please, by all means, rip me apart. But like, just don't come in here and try to rile people up like you're a child. Joe Burrow would be like minimum 3 first-round picks. Oh, yeah. Yeah, most definitely. But, I mean, of course, well worth it. They all say they want to be on a winning team, and then they end up where the money rules. It's all about money, man. Hey, hi, James Jones. James Jones, Jay, what's going on? Dan, you are always respectful to me and have great takes. Well, hey, James, thank you so much. I got to tell you, though, it's very easy because I'm a big Jaden Daniels guy. Massive Jaden Daniels guy. And hopefully our teams will see each other in the Super Bowl next year, man. That is my way too early pick. Jake, the Minnesota sports fan, is saying, Vikings fans here and respect for the Bills, but now Garrett is gone. Where do you go from here at defensive end? So, I mean, at this point, man, like, I think we could throw up a prayer for Trey Hendrickson. I suppose we'll see, like, whether or not. So maybe it does happen. If not, then it'll probably be like a fucking so a Mac contract with Khalil Mack or a Joey Bosa for like a 1 year like vet minimum sort of situation, and just hope that Javon Solomon can really go on ahead and take that next step. And then maybe even drafts a lot of edge rushers I do like in the draft that are in like the 3rd or the 4th. A defensive end is targeted in free agency, and get a good one, man. Listen, just give me some production. All right, bro. I thought your Bills my wash was going. Bro, I thought my Bills and my Commanders were going. Me too, man. Me too. Maybe next year, though. I really don't know what to think about the release. I thought he would have taken a cut and stay. So the thing is that it did create about $8 million in spending. Like, we're as close to being cap compliant as possible right now. So we'll see. Bro probably was offered a massage. Holy shit, you guys are diabolical. And I love it. We have Cat Stumbo coming in with a $5 donation. I sincerely appreciate that. You are the best. We have 1,054 of you currently rocking with us right now, folks. Breaking NFL news so far. You had Von Miller. He was cut by the Buffalo Bills, creating around $8 million in cap spend, $15 million dead cap. And then this stream is largely turned into us discussing how the Cleveland Browns have locked down, somehow locked down Myles Garrett. Which is absolutely bonkers, folks. Absolutely bonkers. This went against everything this guy was trying to say. Ross, good news. And the Titans release Howard Landry. 50 sacks in the last 5 years. No need to give away draft capital. Currently makes $18 million. Go get him. So a Harold Landry could definitely be an option, right? He could definitely be an option, especially since he was released. But it just depends on what it is. Dude, this has to be like Christmas for you with Vaughn gone. But you know what, Jesse? It's funny that you say this because I was thinking, like, you know what? I wonder if we cut Von Miller right now, because we probably could have limited dead cap a bit if we waited until post June 1st with the intention of, hey, whatever, like, we're going to go on ahead and like make a deal with our good friend Myles Garrett. And then just seconds after we cut him, we learn, oh, damn, never mind. He's no longer available. Like, he was a cautionary tale. I don't hate what Von Miller did prior to him, like with his knee injury, but it just sucked, right? Like, we swung for the fences and we struck out on that bad boy. I can tell you that. I think we should get a defensive tackle in the draft, but we should sign a good defensive end in free agency and get one in the draft late to develop. So I'm going to tell you what, like, now that Myles is gone, like, maybe we get Hendrickson, but I'm really not putting a lot of faith into that right now. I think from a Bills fan perspective, what's realistic to me, and it's very underwhelming, is a contract for Mac or Joey Bosa. And we just better pray that Joey Bosa and can play more than 7 to 8 games. Like, that's like what feels realistic to me. I'm not advocating for this at all. I am not advocating for this at all. But if we bring in an edge rusher, more than likely I have a pretty good feeling that it's going to be one of those two names. Or maybe a Harold Landry would be pretty sick, right? But I still feel like we're bargain shopping a tad. And then Dominus says probably. Exactly, man. Like, we've been getting all hyped about Myles Garrett for like the past month. I've just been trying to taper my expectations, right? Like, we are going to like sign some super underwhelming dude. Maybe it's Mac or maybe it's Bosa. Sweat's okay, I guess, but all right. As a Jets fan, I am bugging you guys quickly. Extend all of your young guys, Bernard, Shakir, Rousseau, etc. But where's our extensions? Wilson, Sherwood, maybe Sauce this year. What do you think? So it sounds like Shlomo is actually really wanting his Jets to start making some extensions. I feel like you guys are in an interesting position because Aaron Glenn is still trying to determine whether or not that those guys currently on your roster are Aaron Glenn guys. You typically see this with each and every single new organization or new regime. A lot, like, for example, just look at the Seattle Seahawks, right? Like, first year, very close to the playoffs, and then now they're walking away, or they're willing to walk away from so many different players. They sent Geno off to damn Las Vegas. They have DK on the trade block, and they shipped off Tyler Lockett, right? A lot of the times, a new head coach is going to say goodbye to a lot of the players that have made your organization so tantamount. Got you. Former Kansas City and Hassan Reddick. It's not sexy, but the two together are inexpensive and can produce for y'all. That's Moneyball right there, folks. Have the Charles Omenihu and Hassan Reddick. It's not sexy, but the two together are inexpensive and can produce for y'all. Guys, what if we go on ahead and just moneyball this shit, right? Like, we can't get Myles Garrett, but we try to mimic Myles Garrett production with two different players and Gregory Rousseau. You know what I mean? Damn. I think I like that, Jesse. Chat, sound off and let us know. Sound off and let us know. He got paid. He did. He is the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL. It's probably going to last for another like 6 hours until, of course, we hear that Jamar Chase ended up getting his deal. It never made any financial sense for the Browns to trade Myles Garrett. Dead cap was too steep, but wow, 40 M's. Absolutely insane, man. Look at that. Ooh, Dan, you think Chase Young is a good option and Hendrickson is too old? So Young has never really been one of my favorites, man. Since he's came back from injury, like, he looked like absolute garbage in San Francisco. And the Saints were just such a bad team that I had no interest in watching any snap, like, right of their 2024 regular season. So you tell me, did Chase actually look a little bit better? Chase Young. And speaking of which, my buddy, oh man, you could ask really any 49ers fan, like my buddy Jesse, of what he thinks about Chase Young. He's sitting here, he's talking about Omenahu and Hassan Reddick as a moneyball situation for what we're looking for, which makes it fun. Round 1, defensive tackle. Round 2, edge. Round 3, safety and or a wide receiver. So I'll tell you what. So this is exactly how I want to approach the draft. I agree with all those positions, right? A defensive tackle, edge rusher, safety, and a wide receiver. But I don't want to go into the first round saying that I need to walk away with a defensive tackle no matter what. What I want to do is take all 4 of those positional needs, and by the time that we get to the 30th overall pick, we have to look at our draft board based off of all 4 of those positions. Because say, for example, that all of like the solid defensive tackles are gone by pick 30. I don't want to draft a defensive tackle that no other team in the exact same spot would have taken in the first round. I would much rather have gone for the next best corner or next best receiver and or next best sort of safety. So don't draft off of position, but draft who is the best available left on the board based off of all the positions that we need. And I'm a happy man based off of that. But I do agree with you. We'll see. Chase Young is buns. He didn't even show effort in the NFC Championship game when he was trying to earn a contract. So if money's not even motivating this dude, what the hell will? Did draft Travis Hunter? Yeah, there's no way that's going to happen. Dan, with these crazy contracts, what is it going to cost for a nosebleed ticket to a game going forward? I'd say probably your left kidney and your firstborn son. Sports Pod, what's your biggest free agent player you think we get? I really don't think it's going to be a big player, bro. I really don't. But that doesn't mean that I wouldn't be excited about a couple of potentials that like roll in. So like y'all know how I feel about Jeremy Chin. Would love to add him right to our safety room. Y'all know how I feel about Asante Samuel Jr., a corner out of LA. Of course, who I think would fit very, very well. I don't know. We'll see. So right now we're still over the cap, which makes it not as fun. You know what I mean? Which makes it not as fun. Now, folks, I did want to remind everybody that I am about to go live over on the Dan Mitchell Show. It's NFL news today, all right? We are going to be discussing all of the late-breaking NFL news that has happened last night and into the morning. I'm probably going to start the episode off exactly with this Myles Garrett news. However, that video is currently linked right at the top of this chat. I'm going to be live over there in about 10 to 15 minutes. Who knows? Maybe we're going to be seeing some more crazy-ass breaking news. But join me on the Roundtable Sports Network for the Dan Mitchell Show starting in about 15 minutes. Would love to see you guys over there. And subscribe to that channel as well, because we have quite a bit of some really, really cool stuff that we have launched on this channel. Number one is our weekly NFL news show and hot take show. For example, like look at that production. Fourth and Forever. It's absolutely insane. solid production quality. Shout out to Richie, who knows exactly what he's doing in that department. It's typically myself, Richie, and TD Finstock. That is Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. EST on the Roundtable Sports Network. So, say, for example, that you join me over on the Dan Mitchell Show, then that means that you guys will also be subscribed and be notified when we go live for Fourth and Forever as well. I love each and every single one of you. And let me see with this. So for those who wanted Worthy over Coleman, how do you feel after? And the alleged strangulation. Oh my God. Hindsight's 2020, isn't it? Dan, how are we going to do anything on defense? No pass rush and nobody elite besides Benford. So I'm not sure if like that came from your conclusion of us releasing Von Miller. Like he wasn't really much of a contributor. So we're really in the same position that we are. Say that we get a game-changing interior defensive tackle, a one-tech. That is going to open up Ed Oliver. That is going to open up Gregory Rousseau. I don't think that it's going to be completely out of the realm of possibility that we go and we try and moneyball a quality edge rusher, right? So now that it's probably not going to be Myles Garrett, I don't think it's going to be Trey Hendrickson. Although I would love that, folks. Make no mistake. I would love Trey Hendrickson to come onto this team. I think it's going to be a hell of a lot more likely that we bring in so a Menahu, a Hassan Reddick, a Joey Bosa / a Khalil Mack. I feel it's going to be those four edge rushers that are likely going to come to this team. So it's just a matter of time. Bills fans are deleting those tweets about Worthy as fast as Worthy scoring a touchdown in the AFC Championship game. LOL. I don't delete tweets, bruh. I don't delete tweets, brother. Still can't believe the Bengals tagged Higgins. They should just let him walk. I totally agree. We have G's coming in. What about Josh Uche for the Patriots? Dumb. He's not good. Texas DA chose to not pursue charges against Worthy. Is what it is. Dan, let's call up Aaron Donald. Thoughts? Give him one more ring. Oh my God. This is just Beans scrambling. Might be some breaking news before the season starts. Damn. We will see. All right, guys, listen. So reminder, I'm going to be live over on the Dan Mitchell Show at the Roundtable Sports Network. Go follow me over there. I will be live in about 10 minutes. Love each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in to another edition of the Don Mafia Report. And then I will see you over at the Dan Mitchell Show here shortly. Peace.